Hey guys, Sebastian here with another roadmap update. This time we're going over what we've done in the month of August and what we plan to do going forward. Again, this is a really exciting update and I hope you share the same level of excitement as I do. So let's get right into it. First things first, in the month of August we released the version 1.3 of Daedalus. It's now available from our website. The main benefit of this update is that we fixed a lot of networking issues and also block syncing goes a lot faster. So some of our users have reported a 75% speed up in downloading the blockchain from scratch. That is to say, if they open up a new client and they download the entire chain. So this is a really exciting update, and this is leading up to our update 1.4, which I'll talk about later. In fact, we actually have an update coming sooner than 1.4. That is the 1.3.1 update. And what is so exciting about this update is that this is the update where we enable all the features required to have a testnet for Cardano. And when I say a testnet for Cardano, I mean a testnet for the Byron release. So the only features that will be enabled in this testnet are basically just sending ADA back and forth. Now that may not seem very exciting, but that will allow us to test features with community more, and we also have some other projects that are waiting for the release of the testnet blockchain, and I'll go into that in a bit. So next up, we have a new paper released by LHK, which is SOK, a consensus taxonomy in the blockchain era. So the point of this paper is basically a lot has happened in the space of consensus algorithms, and IOHK wanted a paper that basically sums up everything that's happened so far in the consensus space, and this basically gives a level playing field to a bunch of different approaches in such a way that we can compare them and see how the space has evolved. And I think this will be really helpful for researchers that are looking to see how has the space of consensus algorithms evolved over time and what can we do to improve going forward. So that's one paper we've published. Another paper we've published is the accounting management and staking pools and proof of stake ledgers. So this is one of the core papers that we needed to eventually move towards the Shelley release. In this paper we talk about how staking pools work, how incentives work, and how do we basically set up these delegation of your stake to other pools and this kind of stuff. So it's an exciting paper. It's not too long, only 24 pages. So I hope a lot of people share the excitement in this kind of work, because this is one of our crucial papers that we've needed for the Shelley release, and a lot of people have been kind of reading through and talking about on the Telegram group. So hopefully you can also join the discussion. By the way, the link to everything I mentioned in this video will be in the description of this YouTube video. And so if you go check out the description, you'll be able to see a link to everything I'm mentioning. Next up, we have Marlowe. So Marlowe was released not too long ago. There's actually a paper that you can find now online on the IOHK website called Marlowe Financial Contracts on the Blockchain. And this is basically a way to create a blockchain independent system for creating financial smart contracts that don't require any programming knowledge. As I say, even if you aren't a programmer, you should be able to drag and drop visually different components to create your smart contract in a way that is highly secure and understandable by all parties. Here at Emergo, we created a blog post about Marlowe, basically explaining how it works, how it's going to be used in the future, and the progress going forward. We also actually have a video. If you want to see a more visual representation of how it works, we have a video you can find in the blog post, which will explain in more detail. IOHK has yet another paper called Ghosts of Departed Proofs that was also written in August, and the point of this paper is basically how to better encode preconditions in Haskell. And so this is also another paper is written by one of the IOHK employees and submitted to, I think there's some conference or something this was submitted to, I forget which one. Next up, I'm going to talk about Icarus. So as you know, Icarus was launched on August 15th. So what is Icarus? Icarus is a way to basically create light wallets for Cardano in such a way that this project is open for anybody to join and contribute to. So if you're a company willing to build some sort of light client implementation, this is like a reference implementation that you can look to and see how you go about doing it yourself. With that said, there is no product you can use based off this. The product that is coming out is called Yoroi, and this is a product that was created here in Emergo. So we plan to release Yoroi in the coming future, but the thing is that we need to first wait for the testnet to come out, the testnet I mentioned earlier. And the reason we need this is because we don't want to try out this code base straight away on the mainnet, because we know we've done a security audit, we've done extensive QA and all this kind of stuff, but you can never be too sure when it comes to financial applications. And so we want to first release on the testnet, get a bunch of people to try it out, make sure there are no issues in different countries and this kind of stuff. And then once we've confirmed that, then we will release the mainnet version of the Yoroi Lite wallet. So Yoroi will be running in Chrome, so you will not have to download anything, you will not have to sync any blockchains, you'll just download Chrome extension and launch it and it'll work. And so that's coming up as soon as IOHK finishes the testnet for Cardano. That's to say, we're expecting maybe sometime in Q4 we'll have the release of Yoroi available for everybody to use. So this is really exciting. Related to this Icarus project, actually IOHK is using this as an opportunity to be more open with the community in the development process and the engagement and different companies, all this kind of stuff, which is why IOHK has been trying to hire a community manager for open source software. Also, all the bug tracking on the Rust codebase that this is based on is open source, so you can see the issue tracker, what they're working on now, what they're planning to work on in the future. All this is open source. They also have a Gitter channel where you can join the Gitter channel and talk with everybody there about the development progress and what needs to be worked on next. And so this is a very exciting development, because it means they're slowly moving towards decentralization, where it's not just IOHK doing development work. We're moving to more people, more companies, more projects getting into this space, and hopefully that will help develop our ecosystem. For Yoroi, we have the website launched already. So with with the Yoroi website, you can check out the FAQ, see what kind of product we're releasing, what it's all about, what are the benefits, this kind of stuff. Next up, we've got Plutus. So Plutus, the core libraries are making a lot of progress. They're basically done. We're moving very fast on the implementation at this point. There's a lot of people working on this. Code is being written every day. We have a formal specification of Plutus core language v1. It's not done yet, but as you can see, we've made a lot of progress in writing this all up and using the research-based approach that IOHK is now known for. And so I'm very excited about this project, and good to see it advance going forward to enable writing smart contracts in Plutus in the future. So if you don't know, you can already write smart contracts on a Cardano testnet using both Solidity and another virtual machine called Yella. And so this will be joining the family of smart contracts, languages to write smart contracts in Cardano. Actually, I published a video yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, which was how to deploy a smart contract on the Cardano testnet using Yella. And so this is very exciting because we're moving towards finally being able to have external parties write smart contracts and deploy them onto our platform. And in fact, Emergo is going to be hosting a hackathon here in Japan, I believe later this year. I forget the exact date. But it's going to be exciting to kind of introduce these tools to a bunch of people, see how they do, see what problems they run into, and we can see how we'll develop the ecosystem going forward. Speaking of Emergo, we actually went to go see Runtime Verification. So Runtime Verification is one of the companies that's building the Yella virtual machine, the KVM, and all this kind of stuff. And so they've been working in cooperation with HK. And our CTO, Nico, went to the Runtime Verification office in Illinois and talked to all the people over there. And I joined remotely via call. And we talked about a bunch of cool cooperations and new projects we can do going forward. So we should see a lot of exciting developments as Emergo gets more involved in helping to build the developer ecosystem. With that said, we have more stuff. We're not done yet. We have another new document written by IOHK, which is a rule-based specification of the blockchain logic. So this is basically a document that's meant to be a fairly easy read, introducing a lot of different terminologies that are used in the Cardano codebase and specifying in plain text a lot of the preconditions and the logic for state transitions within the Cardano SL codebase. So if you're interested how Cardano SL works, this will be a great document for you to read, and it's already up online on the Cardano GitHub repository. So this is a very exciting development also. Speaking of which, if you're interested in knowing how the Cardano SL works, we have another document which is called Relating the Wallet Specification to Cardano. So if you don't know, the Cardano SL codebase going forward is being rewritten to match a wallet specification that was written. It's a 45-page paper. It came out a few months ago, which basically describes how you would write an efficient and ideal implementation of a UTXO wallet. And so now that we have the specification, we want to write a document that basically says how the specification relates to the code. And so in this document, you can see various sections that were discussed in the specification, and then you can see the actual Haskell code that this corresponds to. So if you're a Haskell programmer, you want to get involved in Cardano SL in some way, this is a great document for you to read and kind of catch up on everything that's happened. So as you can see, we've got a lot of papers, a lot of documentation, a lot of specifications, a lot of code going forward, and we're growing the ecosystem, growing the developer base. In fact, at Emergo, since last month, we hired 2 new engineers on our team, so we've been growing our engineering base, our engineering foundation, to be able to develop and ship more products going forward to help grow the developer ecosystem. So if you're interested in joining Emergo as a software developer, please get in touch with me. We're looking for new people. With that said, another update, Bittrex, one of the most popular exchanges in the US, has added Cardano, so you can now trade ADA for US dollar pairs. As to say, you don't have to trade to BTC, you can go directly to USD. So this is a very exciting development in the land of exchanges. With that, we have 2 more topics that I want to get into. One is the 1.4 update that is coming out later this year. And so if you don't know, with 1.4, this is a very exciting update because we're basically remaking Cardano. That's to say, we shipped the first version to get something out of the door. And then since that time, as you may have noticed, we've been basically writing wallet specs, lots of specifications, lots of papers, a bunch of research as to how to build an ideal wallet. And then now that we've done all this preparation work, we've now been spending a lot of time implementing it. And so this implementation is advancing fairly quickly. We're coming into the last stretch of it. It's about 90% done, and that should be represented in the 1.4 update. And with the 1.4 update, you should see a lot of speed improvements, performance improvements, less bugs, less connecting to network issues, all this kind of great stuff. And also, after 1.4 is released, the code will be structured in a much more, how should I say, comprehensive way. Some way that's easy for people to understand, read about, and contribute to. And so this is a really exciting update because it means that also development going forward will be going at a higher pace. Some great features that also come with this will be the Linux support. So with starting from 1.4, we'll have a Linux release with every update. So this is great for Linux users. Lastly, I want to talk about the Shelly releases coming up. So as you may know, the Shelly release is basically in the implementation stage. That's to say, we've created the delegation paper that should be coming up on ePrint within a few days. We have the mechanism for delegation. We have the staking incentive paper already written on the Cardano SL repository. You can find technical specifications of how the delegation schemes work and how we'll implement it in code. And now one of the things that's left is moving towards the implementation. So this is a really exciting point because this is one of the most exciting updates for Cardano, and we're making great progress towards finally getting to this goal that everybody's been waiting for. And with that, that's what we've had for this month. Hopefully you found this update really exciting. We've got a bunch of stuff we're working for in the future that I haven't really mentioned, such as we're basically trying to change Daedalus to be an app platform, and we're doing great progress towards that, doing a proof of concept and this kind of stuff. And so we've got a bunch of stuff, exciting stuff going forward, so I hope you keep in touch with the great development in Cardano. Thank you.